It didn't begin with thunder, not with lightning or choirs of angels. It began with something small, a problem no one expected. At a wedding, where joy filled the air, a quiet crisis crept in. The music kept playing, but behind the laughter, whispers spread. The wine is gone. A simple shortage, an ordinary moment. But in that silence between celebration and shame, heaven was about to move. Because God doesn't wait for perfection to begin a miracle, He moves when something runs out. Laughter turned to worry. The servants panicked. The bride's joy dimmed. And that's when my mother came to me. "They have no wine," she said. "No demands, no begging, just faith in a single sentence." Because she knew, when you bring what's empty to me, transformation begins. I didn't start with thunder or spectacle. I started with the simple, because heaven doesn't need grandeur to move. It needs surrender, water, ordinary, everyday, the kind you wash your hands with. But transformation always begins in the ordinary. That's where I do my best work, not in the spotlight, but in the quiet corners of your life where no one else is looking. So I said, "Fill the jars." And they did. They filled them to the brim, not knowing what I was about to do. Faith always begins like that, doing the simple thing you don't understand, because you trust the one who asked. They filled the jars, 6 of them, heavy, stone, used for washing, nothing sacred about them. But when heaven chooses a vessel, its purpose changes. I didn't need perfect jars. I just needed them available. And the same is true for you. I don't need your perfection. I need your participation. Bring me what you have and I'll make it more than enough. Then I said, "Now draw some out and take it to the master of the feast." They obeyed. They didn't question. They just carried what didn't make sense. And that obedience became the doorway to a miracle. Because transformation often happens between the pouring and the tasting, between obedience and revelation. When the master tasted it, his eyes widened. He didn't know where it came from, but the servants did. They knew what they poured was water, and what came out was wine. And not just any wine, the best. The master turned to the groom and said, "You've saved the best till now." That's what I do. I save the best for when you think it's too late. For when the jars are empty, the hope is gone, and the crowd has stopped expecting. Because I'm not finished when you've run out. I'm just getting started. Maybe that's where you are right now. The joy that once filled you has faded. The faith that once felt strong has weakened. The plans you built with confidence have started to crumble. You whisper, "Lord, I have no wine." But that confession, that empty space, is exactly where I begin. You see, I work best in emptiness, because empty things make room for glory. You've tried to fill it yourself, with effort, with distraction, with pride, but nothing satisfies, because what you really need isn't more of the same. You need transformation, and that's what I came to bring. I didn't come to give you a better version of what you lost. I came to make it new. That's why the miracle at Cana wasn't about quantity, it was about quality. I didn't just make more wine, I made better wine. When I move, I don't restore you to where you were. I elevate you to where you were meant to be. Maybe right now your life feels tasteless, ordinary, unnoticed. But don't mistake ordinary for unseen. I do my greatest work in hidden places, in quiet prayers, in whispered faith. The jars weren't glamorous. They weren't holy relics. They were just available. And because they were available, they became the first witnesses to transformation. So bring me your water, your routines, your doubts, your exhaustion. Bring me what feels unworthy, and I'll show you what heaven can do with it. You keep waiting for me to do something miraculous, but what if the miracle has already started, and you just haven't tasted it yet? Even when nothing looks different, something is shifting beneath the surface. Because the water doesn't turn into wine instantly. It turns as it moves. As they carried it, it changed. As they obeyed, it transformed. And that's what faith looks like. Not seeing, then believing, but believing, then seeing. The wedding guests never saw the process. They only saw the result. But the servants, they knew. They saw the moment when nothing became everything. And that's what I want for you, to see it, to feel it, to understand that I'm not distant from your emptiness. I'm working within it. When you bring me your lack, I don't shame you for running out. I show you what I can make out of nothing. So when you think, I'm not enough, remember, neither was the water until I touched it. You don't need to be spectacular. You just need to be surrendered. When I transform something, I do it completely, not halfway, not temporarily, completely. I take what's colorless, tasteless, ordinary, and infuse it with purpose, depth, and beauty. That's what I can do with your life. The jars didn't ask to be filled. They didn't strive. They just stood there, empty, waiting, willing. That's all I need from you. You don't have to be strong. You just have to be available, because I'm still turning water into wine, still transforming hearts, still changing what the world calls worthless into something wonderful. Your past doesn't disqualify you. Your emptiness doesn't exclude you. It invites me closer. So the next time you feel like you've run dry, remember Cana, remember the jars, remember the moment everything changed quietly, without warning, without applause. Miracles don't always begin with thunder. Sometimes they begin with a whisper. And right now, I'm whispering to you. Your life can change. Not later, not someday. Now, bring me your emptiness. Bring me what's left, and I'll show you what heaven can do with what little remains. Because I don't just fill what's empty, I transform it. And when I'm finished, you'll taste it, you'll see it, you'll know the best was never behind you. It was always waiting to be revealed.